If you drive for a delivery service like Uber Eats or DoorDash, you might be wondering exactly how does delivery insurance work? Well, in this video, we're going to cover exactly how does delivery insurance work for the companies of Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, and Instacart. So let's get into it. Hello everyone, this is Elijah with the Rideshare Guy, and in this video we're going to be talking about exactly how does delivery insurance work when you're delivering on these food delivery apps such as Uber Eats or DoorDash. As mentioned in the intro, we will be talking about Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, and Instacart as far as the policies they offer. It should also be noted that this video is based on our article How Delivery Insurance Works for Uber Eats and DoorDash, although we do talk about Postmates and Instacart. So I will be referring to that article periodically throughout the video. If you want to see the full article, just click on the link in the description below. Now, for those of y'all that may be wondering, does delivery insurance work really any different from rideshare insurance? The technical answer is no. They pretty much work the same, but just because you have a rideshare policy does not mean that your particular company will cover an accident if it happens while you're delivering food. So you just want to verify with your insurance agent or the company to make sure that they will cover delivery as well. In a lot of cases they will, or they may require an additional charge just to cover you for deliveries as well. But make sure you clarify that ahead of time. That way you can know for sure that you're covered in both instances. Now, if you don't know how rideshare insurance actually works, then you actually want to brush up on that before watching this video, because this is going to cover information in regards to what the individual companies will cover if you're in an accident. It's not taking into account if you didn't have a personal policy that covers you, or if you do. That's information that is covered in other videos we've done about rideshare insurance. So I've linked our rideshare insurance playlist in the description as well as a pinned comment. So you want to check that out first if that's the case. But assuming you know that information, let's get into what type of delivery insurance these companies offer. So we're going to start first with Amazon Flex Insurance. Amazon Flex seems to have one of the most robust insurance policies out there for delivery drivers. According to the Flex Driver app, the Amazon Flex Auto policy applies while carriers deliver packages, pick up packages, and return undelivered packages back to the designated location. The policy includes liability coverage, uninsured or underinsured motorist coverage, and contingency, comprehensive, and collision coverage. The $1 million liability coverage is primary and covers drivers for damages to a third party's vehicle or person. The uninsured or underinsured $1 million coverage protects drivers in case of injury or vehicle damage caused by another motorist who's not carrying adequate insurance. The contingency, comprehensive, and collision coverage will provide up to $50,000 to cover damages to a driver's car while delivering with Amazon. This contingent coverage is only available to drivers who already have comprehensive and collision coverage on their personal policies. That's important to note. In addition to this being the case, the comprehensive and collision claims are subject to a $1,000 deductible. It's also important to note that this policy is not in effect in New York because New York drivers have to maintain their own commercial insurance. Moving on to DoorDash insurance, DoorDash provides a $1 million contingency liability policy when you are in possession of goods to be delivered, meaning only from the restaurant to delivery and not driving to the restaurant. In insurance terminology, that's basically saying that this only applies to period 3. It can only be applied after you've exhausted the coverage from your personal policy and only applies to damages and injuries drivers cause to other parties while on an active delivery. There is no collision coverage at this point. With DoorDash really saying they only cover period 3, it's probably a good idea to take a look at having your own policy when it comes to delivering with DoorDash, because if you are in an accident, they're not going to cover period 2 or period 1. As of June 27, 2019, all U.S. Dashers are automatically eligible and enrolled for occupational accident insurance coverage at no cost. DoorDash occupational accident policy offers medical expenses up to $1 million with no deductible or copay, disability payments up to $500 per week, and survivors payments up to $150,000 for eligible dependents. For more specific information on that, you can check out our article in the link in the description, and in that article it's linked to DoorDash's website where they go into more detail. Next we have Postmates, and like DoorDash, Postmates also provides $1 million in excessive liability coverage for carriers and vehicles. This coverage will only kick in after you've exhausted your personal policy's coverage, which probably won't cover you at all in this case unless you've added a delivery to your personal policy. For carriers who deliver on foot or bike, Postmates provides a $1 million general liability policy for third-party injuries and third-party damages. And in August 2019, Postmates announced an occupational accident insurance policy very similar to DoorDash. If you want to know exactly what does the Postmates occupational insurance cover, you can check out their website in the link in the description below. And it is also displayed on the screen right now. So just like DoorDash, you'll want to consider getting your own personal policy just to make sure that you're fully covered, because they're just really covering period 3, like mentioned before. Next, we have Uber Eats. And Uber Eats provides coverage for drivers that is very similar to the coverage provided while driving for UberX. This includes $1 million of liability coverage per incident, as well as contingent, comprehensive, and collision insurance. As far as the deductible, it's $1,000. So the overall summary with Uber Eats is there's coverage during period 2 and period 3, but period 1, when you're just waiting for a request, you're not covered. So that's where it's best to go ahead and have your own personal policy to make sure that you're covered. Just like rideshare, except for this time it's delivery. And sadly, at the time of the recording of this video, Instacart actually doesn't offer any coverage for its drivers whatsoever. So when you're driving for Instacart, it's going to be 100% on your own personal policy. So you'll definitely want to make sure that you have a policy that covers the delivery, because if you don't, then you're not going to have any insurance coverage whatsoever from the company themselves. So overall, what does all this mean for delivery drivers? What this means is you want to go ahead and have your own personal policy, even though companies do provide coverage in certain circumstances. But honestly, it really just comes down to a peace of mind. That's how I look at insurance. And the maximum peace of mind you're going to have is by having your own policy that covers you while you're delivering food. Oftentimes we may get involved and start delivering food, but we kind of ignore the insurance part of the deal. But it is good to go ahead and have your own personal policy that ensures that you will be covered if you get in an accident while delivering food. We also have a list of recommended companies that we've done research on the rideshare guide, and I'm going to leave a link to that in the description below. It's in the same place as this article, so if you're thinking about getting a policy that does cover you, you can check that information out. And like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, if you haven't seen our rideshare insurance videos, you'll want to check that out, because that'll make this more full circle, just in case you didn't get a full grasp of the situation before watching this video. In those videos, we talk about period 1, period 2, period 3, and do they cover you, do they cover your car, or do they just cover the person that you got in an accident with? We go into more details in those videos. So they're linked in the pinned comment and in the description below. But that does it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. We publish new videos every single week, so be sure to subscribe if you're new. Hit that thumbs up button, as it greatly helps us out. And be safe and profitable, everyone. I'll catch you next time.